This next episode is called Water because there's a lot of things I found that are common about water and issues with water. Some of the things that are listed are listed for midsummer this year, and they're talking about North America, and they're talking about water, and they're talking about the water supplies in different cities getting poisoned. Now we all know that there's lots of issues with the water with East Palestine. There's the water that's being pushed through in Delaware that's being pushed that's again end up being pushed through into things. There's some of the other water supplies that are being poisoned from other chemical leaks or radiations or you name it. I've created a playlist on this channel called Water, where I've taken some of these clips and put them in there that I've found that were part of these notes were referring to these things. And so when I did search for some of those terms, I came up with videos of active things that are happening in that area already. As the course of the year goes on, there's going to be more of these things happening. Right now, some of the things that I Google or I search on YouTube for, I don't find any reference to that there yet. But I'm sure later in the year, as I start doing some of those searches for some of the things that she's been documenting in these things, that more and more of those videos are going to come up. So there'll be a video playlist called Water that will have some of those things. Here's I don't know what you'd call it, a vision or a dream. Oh, it's a dream from Ida Fisher, who's Susan Fisher's grandmother. And so I'm going to read that dream and we'll see where it goes from there. So this dream is called Cloudlet Party. So this morning on the train, I placed my head on for a nap. And then I had a dream. This is the dream. One day, two water droplets sat together on a pier. "Where have you been?" one water droplet asked. "I floated on the air up to the clouds," the second one said. "What were they like?" The first droplet asked, Cloudlets love to party. They dance to the rhythm of the wind. As they dance, they get excited. Exciting parties attract more cloudlets. Eventually, it becomes a massive mosh pit. The cloudlets bounce off the walls to each other. Some do not like to party. When they get bumped into, they punch. A massive bar fight breaks out. One of the brawlers knocks over a light and it flashes across the sky. Scared cloudlets exited as fast as they could. Some jumped to other clouds, while others simply dropped to the ground in surrender. "This is how I came back to you," the second cloudlet said. "Wow, next time, take me with you. I have lots of friends that love to party," the first droplet said. "Next time the air is warm and heavy, be prepared, and we will come back for you," the second droplet said, floating away. The first droplet rushed off to tell his friends. So it seems kind of odd, but that was mixed in with some of the things. So the other one that was interesting about water was the one about the tofilar. So let me find that one for you. All right, here's the story of what it's called living water, and it's the story of the tofilar people. This happened a long, long time ago, when the cedar and the fir and the pine still had needles that yellowed and dropped in the fall, instead of staying green in the winter. Once, in the olden days, a toffler went out into the woods to hunt. He walked and walked, and he came further than any hunter had ever dared to go. He saw a bog so vast that no beast could have crossed it. No bird could have flown across. And the toffler said to himself, if our animals can't run across this bog, and our birds cannot fly across it, what kind of animal or bird live on the other side? The more he thought about it, the more curious he became. I must find out, he said to himself. Whatever happens, I must get there. And so he took a good running start and leaped right clear across the bog. He looked around, the same earth, the same grass, the same trees. Silly, he said. There was no need to jump. Suddenly his mouth dropped open in wonder. In a little clearing stood 7 harnessed rabbits. They stood quietly waiting. Then 7 people came out of 7 burrows in the earth, exactly like all people, only tiny. When the rabbits flattened their ears, the people were taller than the rabbits. When the rabbits' ears stood up, the people were smaller than the rabbits. Who are you? Asked the toffler. We are immortal people, said the tiny men. We wash ourselves in living water, and we never die. Who are you? I am a hunter. The little men clapped their hands with joy. Oh, good, they cried in chorus. And one of them, the elder, with white hair and a white beard, came forward and said, a terrible, huge beast has come into our land. We don't know where it came from. The other day, it caught one of our people and killed it. We are immortal, we never die ourselves, but this beast killed one of us. You are a hunter, you can help in this trouble. Can you hunt down the beast? Why not? Said the toffler. But to himself he wondered, would I be able to kill such a frightening beast? However, he went out to track the beast. He looked and looked, but he could find nothing except rabbits' footprints. Suddenly, among the rabbits' footprints, he noticed the track of a sable. Oh, that's too fine a quarry to miss, he said. First I will get the sable, and then I will go on looking for the terrible huge beast. He found the sable and killed it. Then he skinned it and went on with his search. He walked the length and breadth of the little people's land, but could not find any trace of the beast. So he came back to the little people and said to them, I could not find your terrible beast. All I have found is this sable. He showed them the little sable skin. That's it, they cried. Ooh, what a huge skin. What thick paws. What terrible sharp claws. The eldest of the men said to the toffler, You have saved us and our people, and we shall pay your kindness with kindness. Wait for us, we will become immortal. You will wash... Wait for us, we will come and visit you and bring you to living water. You'll wash in it, and you will become immortal too. The toffler jumped back across the bog and went back into the valley and told his people about the little men. The tofflers began to wait for their guests. The immortal little men. They waited a day, 2 days, 3 days, many, many days. But the guests did not come. And the toffler forgot about them and their promise. Winter came, everything around was frozen, and the bog was covered with a coat of ice. One day the villager went to the woods to gather firewood. Suddenly they saw a little herd of rabbits galloping their way. They looked again and saw that every rabbit was saddled, and in every saddle sat a tiny man with a little pitcher in his hand. The women burst out laughing at the sight. "Look, look," they cried to one another. "They are riding on rabbits. And look at the little men, how funny. Oh, what a joke. Oh, I'll die laughing." Now the immortal people were a proud race, so they took offense to the reception. The one in front with the white hair and the long beard shouted something to the others, and they all spilled out the contents of their pitchers on the ground. Then the rabbits turned and hopped away as fast as they could, only to see their white tails flicker. And so the tofilars never got the living water. It went instead to the pine and the cedar and the fir trees. And this is why they are all fresh and green all year long. Their needles never die. So that's in there as well. So these are little, I guess, parables that may make sense once you start looking at some of the other water posts. There's a part in here about being humble, and there's taking care of other people and caring about their feelings and stuff like that. The key thing here is that I found that's relatable to this is the water. They're talking about the living water. I'll pull out a few other pieces of the water stuff out of here as well. The other thing that I'm finding in here is lots and lots and lots of articles on exploration of space and finding water on other planets. And the reason for that, they say, is because they want to have places where they can find life in the universe. But what some of the underlying stories that have and files that are within this batch is saying is that one of the main reasons for it is because our water supply is about to go sour, and we need to be able to get water from some other source in order to be able to survive on the planet that we're on. So far we haven't found another planet where we can live that is close enough to get everybody here there, but at least in the meantime, if we can find somewhere that has even a frozen water supply, that could be brought back. And there's reference to one of the Superman movies where he freezes the ice and then takes it somewhere to put out a fire. And so the water frozen within the coldness of space could be brought as a big chunk closer to Earth, and then as it's dropped into our atmosphere, it will melt. They can control where it's melting into a pool, where then they can be using that as fresh water. So that's some of the stuff that I'm seeing within this box of stuff. There's a lot in here. There's a lot to go through. So there's going to be more and more videos on many more different things. So this one's on water, and so hopefully this is helpful. The playlist will have more clips on water, to be able to go through some of those things as well. As I find more, I will put more in that playlist, as well as create more videos like this.